back to Absolutely. My name is Benny. That is Dan. That is Sal. That is Hassan. And finally, Marvel's announced something that we've all been excited for in forever, and I already watched this trailer, and now I'm not excited. But we're going to watch it live and talk about that. Today's episode is brought to you by Gamersups. Go check out their waifu cups that they come out with on a regular basis. This is Mighty Melon. I believe that's the name, or Melon something. It's really tasty. I recommend it. Less chalky than its competitors. But let's go ahead and get into this. Yeah, I'm just going to say up front, I don't know. Well, let's do this and we'll do it.
Yeah, let's do the, don't color the.
Spoil it.
Yeah,
This is my first time seeing it, Benny.
I hated
Jeez.
that part with Spider-Man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there'll never be a part with Spider-Man.
Fury,
Nicolas Cage.
since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse. How you think I came back?
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend.
I can stop anytime you guys want
This
to.
is personal.
Very few of us know about the wars fought in the shadows that have raged.
Okay, I did notice this. This is what I like the idea that she's in here, Maria,
Kobe Smulders?
Wars fought
Yeah.
and so all the agents from all the shows are
Right.
part of this.
Yeah.
Because I'll talk more about that later at the ending. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed at least seeing some.
Well,
kind
because
of crossover.
what are they going to do with Martin Freeman anymore? It's just like, just put him in this and kill him. Like,
I can't. You think he's gonna die?
yeah, I think they're going to kill a lot of people in the show. Like, anyway.
that have raged on this planet.
I love her.
What's that?
It's Amelia
That's
Clarke.
Amelia Clark.
Yeah, she's announced on this a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but it's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to see it.
Where are the Avengers?
Yeah, good question.
This war is one I have to
Did
fight.
somebody say stop?
Oh, so is that Chris Evans?
Right there?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I think it's the same guy from before with the. It's more Afro hair, I think.
Okay.
Unless
Oh,
I'm crazy.
the-
I thought it
the
was the
clone
same guy
guy?
earlier that had like a dozen scroll clones of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was Cap from the back, and it's their way of being like, let's make a Captain America and have him do a bunch of stuff and say stuff. Like,
Have him be a super scroll.
right, like Chris Evans is like I've said everything I want to say about Captain America,
Right.
but I can imagine him being like, but I'll play a fake Captain America. I mean, I did that twice.
I did that twice.
This war is one I have to fight. Alone.
You're the most wanted man on the planet.
You don't know what they have planned for you.
The great Nick Fury. One last fight.
So
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
my problem is
I'll watch it.
this did not make me that excited for this. It kind of made me think of what Andor did, where it's just like it's in the Marvel universe, but it's not going to be a Marvel product. Like I don't think we're going to see any superheroes in this, and that's
Oh,
kind
what are you
of
talking about? War Machine's in there.
He's
He's getting a whole movie franchise.
There's no
soon.
way he's not going to be. There's no way he's going to be War Machine in this.
No,
I don't think he's going to suit up. That's the.
Yeah.
I think it's
No
gonna be just
way.
Colonel
Kill
Rhodes.
Armor Wars.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like this is their low budget. We're going to spend all the money on the actors. We're going to get Martin Freeman. We're going to get Samuel L. Jackson. We're going to get the lady who
Colby
plays Maria
Smulders.
Hill. That's it, Colby Smulders.
whatever the hell her name is. But yeah, I mean, on one hand, this is an espionage movie extended into God knows how many episodes. I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. But you know, how do you cut a trailer for that isn't like? I mean,
A giveaway.
the reality is they don't know how.
Yeah.
The fact is, the new period at Marvel doesn't know how to like make a trailer that people are excited for because they don't have material that people are going to get excited about. So like it's weird for them to be like, I don't know. This is like this for them. I think this is their prestige picture. Like this is their this is their highbrow project.
Yeah.
And it's like okay, but it's gonna be dumb.
I feel like it'd be a good 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
I was
You
going to
kidding
say
me?
that too. It looks
Yeah.
like it would be interesting for a movie, but after seeing that and knowing it's stretched out as a TV show, I feel like I would get very bored very quickly and be like, I'm just going to go do something real quick.
Yeah.
I'll just keep my headphones on and listen to it while I'm doing something because
I didn't
Nothing
have a
too
single
special.
strong opinion at all. Like,
That's
not
why I'm
negative,
so
Yes.
upset.
not
That's-
positive. I'll watch it. I thought some of the special effects look really good. Amelia Clark's hair. Brown
Oh,
looks
you
perfect
and the
in picture.
hair.
I had to bring it up just because it's
Yeah.
the thing. Nick Fury's beard looks epic. He's like old man Fury now, and he's got a certain gruff look to him. I don't think his like eye scratch whatever has ever looked as good as it looks. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'll watch it. Excited's the wrong word. I'll watch it.
I will
I-
also
here's
watch
my
it when it
concern.
comes out.
Yeah.
Here's my concern. I just reread Secret Invasion, the book, this morning, okay? And so, like, when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, that looks like fun. And when I reread the book, this made me realize this is going to be another Civil War problem. Where Civil War was incredible with all this stuff. Half of the Secret Invasion comic is the superheroes fighting the Skrull versions of the superheroes.
yeah,
That's the fun part.
Yeah, like the Nick Fury stuff, that's all happening. That does happen. This is going on. There is the espionage and who's actually doing this and that other thing. And while that's happening, all the superheroes are in the Savage Land battling against their Skrull clones. We're not going to get any of that. Like,
No.
I feel like the closest we'll get will be something like they'll reuse footage from a movie of them fighting or something, but then show a clone, like a Skrull clone of them doing something else. So they're like, okay, we don't have to worry about making the fight. We'll just make it look like there is a fight so we can duplicate them and have a
Yeah.
Skrull do something in their place.
Marvel, here's how you save money. Grab clips from the other movies of the superheroes and then tint their skin green, flip the image, and then
Yeah.
put a CGI rotoscope a new background on it.
I mean, the fact is, like, they don't need any of the actors back because, like, all their suits are CG. They could
Yeah.
just make them pop up and then have a Skrull head under that, like, under the mask. Like, that's. They don't
I
have
can
to
see
do any
that
of
happening. We'll see a Skrull cap in the suit. We'll
Right.
see a
Yeah.
Skrull Iron. I can see that happening, but we're not going to get we're not going to get Robert Downey Jr. fighting Robert Downey Jr.
I don't
Which is
want
we're
that.
not
I don't
gonna
want to
get Bob
waste a
for
Robert Downey
anything.
Jr. cameo on this show that
Oh,
only
no,
8
I
people are gonna
agree.
watch.
Yeah.
That's why I think this should be like a movie. Secret Wars should also be a movie. This should be like the culmination of like Phase 5. This should
should
not
be
be
a
just
movie.
a
And
show in the middle.
100% agree, but I think based on the story they're telling, they couldn't have put asses in seats for a movie.
No.
Excuse my French, but yeah, there's no way they could like.
You mean to tell me that if this trailer dropped, but interspliced in the middle, it was a movie.
No.
And interspliced into that, you saw full Chris Evans' face fighting Chris Evans, and
That's
you wouldn't
different.
be like,
I don't
think-
I'm so gonna
I was
see
saying
that.
like the concept of what this show is and like what it was, like what story they told. I don't think that this could be cut into a movie that would be successful. No, obviously, if we have like our name brand actors paid multi-millions, we could potentially get some people, but also they're not willing to go balls to the wall with this, right? Because then
Yeah.
they would have saved it to be a movie. This has
Yeah.
never been their intent. That for some reason they want to soft introduce Skrulls now, or they did soft introduce it. They want to introduce it harder. They're building towards something, but we don't know what that is.
I
and
don't
that's
think
the
this
whole
is building
purpose.
towards anything.
No, I think
this
this is
just
what
a,
it's
like
building to.
a one-off project.
Yeah.
That like
Wow.
that should have been like it should have been another movie. This could have been a really cool movie for
That's
the
what I'm
new
saying.
Avengers. Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it have been neat? It would have been a great opportunity after like Secret Wars, after like the dust settles or whatever the hell they're doing, because they shouldn't have announced Secret Wars. But to do Secret Invasion after you've established like, oh look, it's Sam and Kamala and whoever else is left, Kate, etc., and they have to fight the old Avengers in a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like sad because it's like it would be a thematic movie of like we're literally moving forward, and they have to fight all of the preconceived ideas about like how lame they are in comparison to the last phase. Like that would be this is a project for Samuel L. Jackson to like look mad and have a stunt double do some do some movement. It's
Right.
just I don't see how Secret Invasion, which was first of all, it had an incredible build-up in the comics, and I don't want to necessarily say they did it in the comics, but like the reality is the comics built this up over years with seeds, and if Secret Invasion the show was able to pay that off, go like any weird inconsistencies in the last 10 years of movies, we're going to literally say a Skrull did it and just explain it with like a weird, like an awesome alternate angle of that scene, like recreated. You will deserve my Disney Plus subscription money,
Right.
But otherwise, like if this is just like it's just our attempt at doing like a 24, then
I
pass, I guess.
And I'll
That's
counter
my problem
let's
with this.
say-
It should be such a bigger project. It
Yeah.
should. This should be the end of Phase 5.
Yes.
I feel like that they were almost building up to that by doing the scroll drops in Captain Marvel and the scroll drops
Yeah.
in the Avengers, and then they just said, you know what, we'll just make it a show. Like I felt like that this could have been that. It's my issue is Civil War. Like I like Civil War the movie, but it should have been the end of a phase. Like that should have been huge. It should not have been it.
It should
Right,
have
like,
been
if
a
you-
Captain America movie. That should have been. It should have been Avengers: Civil
Ah,
War, and
yeah.
that should have been replaced Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think, yeah, a big problem with the show is that, honestly, for like you said, for all these previous movies, they should have done. Every single one of them should have had a post-credit scene
Of a
showing a Skrull involved in some way. Just
Yeah.
in some
and
way.
only
to-
Spider-Man did that.
Exactly. And like, I'm wondering if this is more of just a, like, it feels more like, hey, Samuel L. Jackson is a huge name. We have him on payroll. This is either going to be his send-off, but at the end of the day, he's never been truly like the main star of any of the films or anything like that. The closest was Captain Marvel, where like he had a more important role. But I feel like this is that for him. Like, it's
Yeah.
almost like they're like, hey, what can we do where Nick Fury really gets front and center?
Right.
Secret Invasion? Let's do it.
Except that's like not even a Nick Fury story. Like Secret Invasion is not like they could have done Secret Warriors, but you know, that's too esoteric, I guess. I don't know. It's just weird.
It's always that like we're adapting ideas rather than actual storylines. So we're going to
Yeah.
use the title of something to promo it to make comic book fans excited, but it's not a good idea because you're breaking comic book fans' hearts. Like you're not doing this properly. Don't use a title to drum up hype amongst the community that will then ridicule your movie, lambast it on Twitter, like go off on how much they hate it afterwards because it wasn't what they wanted. You know, and it's because you promised it via the marketing. This could have been called like Nick Fury something Secret Agents whatever, and I would have watched it.
You know what this should have been? Because unfortunately they already announced it. They should never have announced Secret Wars.
Never.
Because there is a book starring Nick Fury and some superheroes that's like more espionage. It's called Secret War.
Yeah.
The problem is you can't do Secret War and Secret Wars. So come up with something else. But like Secret Invasion it's too big and it's too exciting and it's too cool a concept to waste on a Nick Fury solo outing. I don't know. Really quick, other thing. Clearly, Ben Mendelsohn, no more makeup. I'm done wearing that bullshit. I'm a white guy now.
Yeah.
Wait,
Like, I don't wanna do that.
Who?
He wasn't in makeup in the thing.
The-
The guy
the-
who's
the
been playing the Nick Fury Skrull, Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, the guy who's been a Skrull and always wears a Skrull costume and is now like, nah, I'm just gonna be me because that's I'm just gonna do that. Like,
Which,
screw it.
whatever, let him emote more. I'm sure that
Yeah.
makeup is pretty restrictive as far as what they can do with his face. And
Oh,
with-
I hate it because it's like
Yeah.
because he has those teeth in, and I'm like, you don't have to mic him with the teeth in. You could just ADR that. Like, it doesn't have to sound like he has like fake.
He's always like that.
Dracula teeth in there.
Yeah.
Also, it's time for Disney Plus to buy a new rooftop set. All the rooftops
Please.
on Disney Plus look like, and they need to stop. It's just bad, and it's time to stop. I know it's a weird thing to complain about. Yep, I'm complaining about this. Rooftops look like crap on Disney Plus Marvel shows. I don't know what it is. Maybe they look like The Room. Remember in the Room when they're on the rooftop and they
the
use
most
green screen around
disrespectful
it?
thing you could have said.
Yeah,
Wow.
Disney Plus Marvel shows look like The Room.
Oh,
They are really, they are very
I did
bad
not get there. I
rooftop
did not
sets.
get there. Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah, oh hi, Spider-Man. They look really bad, and they always look the same, and they have that weird coloration where I'm like, that's not night. I've been out at night. I know what night looks like, and it ain't that. It ain't what it looked like in the Hawkeye show. It ain't what it looked like in the Falcon Winter Soldier show, and it ain't what it looks like on this. And it
That's because they
certainly
filmed
didn't
in
look
the
like.
daytime, and they're like, just dim it. Just dim it.
Yeah,
That'll
that's
be
called
night.
day for night, and it's like the worst thing you can do, and they've been doing it since the 20s. Like, Ms. Marvel was another perfect example of like, oh, I know what we can do. If you say, do it in post, I'm going to slap you. It's like that's all they do. Like this might be Phase. Do it in post. I heard a great Phase name for this, by the way, where they were like, maybe it's time to end this. The Phase 4 is now called Phase. He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
That's so dumb and
It's
perfect.
so mean. I was just like, but you know what? It's so well earned because it's so like lazy and clunky and like barely funny, and that's what Phase 4's been.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Right? I mean, like,
agree
I
with
like
you.
a lot of things from this Phase, but like, I'm ready for it to be over.
Yeah.
And
Lot
this
of
show
love.
is like, oh look, a lot of uninteresting shots, a lot of undynamic sequences, and a lot of unexciting actors are all going to fight Skrulls that definitely won't be Skrulls for 99% of the show.
I mean, they showed that their fight spending the CG to just dupe the same guy 8 times, but we're
Yeah.
not going to get anyone agreed.
Right? No.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
So,
Love it.
Here's a theory question for those of you who watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Do we think Chloe Bennett is returning as Daisy, as Quake?
Not
Because
in
that's
this.
been the biggest rumor mill spin up of this whole thing is that she's back. Do you guys care for that? Do you want her back? Do you think she's back?
I mean, it's one of those ones where I saw the show and that'd be kind of cool, but
That-
nothing about it's like.
It's been
oh my
so
gosh,
far.
Yeah.
It's been so far apart at this point. I don't think the majority of people are going to care.
At the
I think that
and
too.
the crowd goes mild.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody. I
I
think if they're like,
love
ladies and
Chloe
gentlemen, we got Chloe Bennett from that show that got canceled 5-6 years ago.
Well, that's the thing. I'm glad if she's in it, they didn't announce it. I think
Yeah.
let it happen, and
Yeah.
that would be a far more viral Twitter reveal than telling it beforehand. That's probably my biggest issue with all of superhero marketing right now is that we just
Yeah.
keep getting the reveals, and it's like, you don't understand. You would have won with this, but
Yes.
you told us beforehand what we were getting.
Agreed.
You ruined
No.
this for us.
I'm sorry, but there's people who don't pay attention. When I went to Multiverse of Madness and Fantastic Mr. Reed got on the screen, there was a guy that stood up and like, yes! Like,
That's funny. I was in the Multiverse of Madness on like opening weekend, and I saw no reaction to anything.
that was one
I
guy.
was in opening weekend at the Chinese theater where the movie premiered actually, and a bug was on the projector, but it
Ugh.
was like an IMAX projector, so it was on like one lens. And at one point, there's a scene where Professor Xavier like looks up a little bit, and it's as the bug is moving up, and my theater went nuts. They
That's
thought it was the
amazing.
funniest thing that's ever happened.
I love it.
And
Oh,
I
they
guess
did applaud
reacted.
Professor X. Professor X, they applauded.
Yeah.
yeah.
My theater applauded everybody pretty much. They liked all the
Well,
cameos
you went to the
except
Chinese
Maria
theater,
Rambeau.
Yeah, you were.
Well,
Yeah,
I was in the mix.
sorry.
I was in the place to watch.
you were
the
in a
movie.
Gallagher concert. Like, it,
Yeah, basically.
I was gonna make the comparison to Xavier of everyone cheering for that is he's much more well known than Quake from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Like
Which that show ended up getting a pretty cult audience, and then
Yes.
it ended in like a really cool way. I don't know if you guys ever got to the ending, but like they go to the
jumped
quantum
in and
realm
out.
at the end of that one. So they like
oh,
they shrink into the quantum realm. And they actually use a lot of the same CG effects in Endgame, and that's how they rectify that storyline. It's actually
oh,
pretty
cool.
if
Good.
they went to the quantum realm, then they should have had a couple of them show up in Quantum
In Ant-Man
Mania.
3, because
You just see
Don't
them
get me
walking in the
started,
background.
That would
Dan.
have been great.
Don't
That would have been
get
great to
me
see Quake
started.
in the background of like the
Right?
fight and stuff. That
it
would have been
literally
fun.
so like they time travel through a lot of the season, not knowing they're just jumping in time and they don't know what's happening. At the end,
Yes.
it's revealed it was this like whole plan by Fitz and Simmons, and they needed to move them around for whatever reason. And then he's like, "I use these things called Pym particles," and they're and he like in this like aggressively Scottish accent explaining
Yeah.
it was incredible. And then he goes, "We're basically shrinking between the molecules of the world." It's great.
But all right, I'm gonna wrap up this trailer reaction here. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'm Benny, that is Dan, that is Hassan, and that is Sal. And stick around, we're gonna be putting out the Blue Beetle one very soon. See you guys next time. Like, subscribe,